I know it's hard, but if you can take it into just one thing you'd like your team to focus on heading into that game?
Well, just one thing. Gosh, it's hard for a coach because we got a lot of things we want to focus on. I mean, I think probably in general, defensively, we're going to be solid, but I think our half-court offense, our execution in the half-court, when we're taken out of our transition opportunities, that continues to be a focus for us. Yeah. That's exactly right. And that's the fun of being on a world stage is you see so many different styles. I say you have to be an amoeba. You've got to be able to change and reshape yourself. And so they trust that process. Belgium is, going to be a little more probably what we see in the WNBA. But they are terrific at sharing the basketball. Their counters, to whatever the defense is, much like Japan. I mean, the teams at this level, they're here for a reason. And obviously Belgium poses challenges and a great player like Emma, and they've been playing together for so long.
Three Phoenix Mercury players on the roster. What is it about that kind of Phoenix DNA? Is it Nativity system? What is it about those players that make you want to
Diana and BG were there long before. They've been through a few systems, and so I think that maybe Ka has been the greatest beneficiary of the current system, and has led her, to have this opportunity. But she was also building towards this in her prior USAB camps, et cetera, and competition. So I think it's probably more the DNA of the players. Obviously, Diana Taurasi is one of the all-time greatest competitors that the sport, not just women's basketball, but the sport has ever seen. And obviously, Brittany Griner's been impacting on a really high level since she was, playing biddy ball, so to speak. But I think at this level, Olympians have this passion for competing, this competitive fire. Olympians have something just a little bit different, and I think all three of those possess that.
You kind of alluded to it, but with Diana being her sixth Olympics, trying to go for her sixth gold medal, can you put in the words what she meant to you as a last year?
Yeah, I feel fortunate. This is my third Olympics with Diana, so half of them. What has always stood out is she just understands the game, obviously, the competitor, the passion, but her willingness to communicate and give of herself to her teammates, the knowledge that she has collected. There is no substitute for that level of experience, and that happens within a possession. That will happen, whether she's the lead guard or off guard. Her communication and directing people and putting them in positions to be successful. It's incredibly valuable.
Talk about the pressure, if there is any, to continue the gold streak.
I think coaches always feel pressure, whether it's to win the first or to win, however many in a row. Certainly the expectation is something that this, one of the greatest sports dynasties ever, which is Olympic women's basketball, the national team. I think we're aware of that, but I also think we should be really mindful, and we try to do it with this group, is that this is our first journey together. We weren't a part of, not all of us were there. And so making this unique and special in its own right, and then, if you focus on that, then, that in a row takes care of itself.
The WNBA recently backed Kamala Harris as president. Could you talk about that decision?
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing that our league has done through the years, using our voice as a vehicle for change, and I think no question, that we would, step to the plate in this scenario. And I think it's really important that, that we don't go backwards, as we've seen some of the threats to, basic, human rights, the things that we care about in our league. And so I'm proud to stand with the players in this and back Kamala Harris. Yeah. We've watched that film. I can't tell you how many times we've watched that film. And I think, I don't know if your question is, what did we see in that? Yeah. Oh, tremendous. Yeah. Well, I think probably the biggest thing is it was without Julie. And so, Van Loo, didn't play in that game. Linskens didn't play in that game. So now we have Linskens to contend with. But we've kind of got to look at what do they look like without Van Loo. So that maybe is a little bit helpful. But yeah, there were very many helpful takeaways that we're going to be locked in on today. And honestly, most of them were on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah.
Scary since you won the 179-77 and social offense yet.
Oh, I didn't. Absolutely, absolutely. Now they're what they do in their schemes is very good. I did not think we were a good team coming out of our New York camp, and that showed itself in that game. I was not happy with what we looked like in New York, and I was hopeful that somehow a switch would be flipped. But we were in like pickup basketball mode in that camp, and we weren't locked in on some details and execution. I think we're ahead of that. I've not seen that team since then, which is good. And so, yeah, I think we have to execute. We didn't execute in transition in that game. We shot quick shots. We didn't move them. That sort of thing. And so they're good. Obviously, they're really good. And I think there are places that we can go to be better.